Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes that I've tried so far in the year 2022. We are halfway through the year. I can't believe we're already halfway through the year. I feel like we are simultaneously moving very fast through the year, but it's also moving very slow. It's like the days feel long, but the year is going by fast, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've tried quite a few palettes at this point. I think it's around the 50 mark. I don't know off the top of my head right this second because I'm actually not filming that portion at this moment. I'm just filming my intro and outro for you to get that out of the way. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited to rank these. I think it's gonna be very challenging because I really have been trying hard not to use things that I don't think I'm going to like, if that makes sense. Like I'm trying not to use things just for the sake of using them, just for the sake of a video. I'm trying to genuinely use things that I feel like I could get use out of. So it's really difficult to rank the bottom ones when you don't like hate them. But I'm really excited regardless. In case you're new here, I typically do a ranking my last 10 palettes all the time. Usually once every like month or two, whenever 10 palettes accumulate, you know what I mean? So I've been doing rankings this whole time for like, gosh, probably 2 years now. So this is just me kind of recapping on what I've tried so far this year and my thoughts on everything. If you want to see these palettes in action, I have played with every single one of these, sometimes multiple times throughout like my YouTube channel, sometimes my Instagram/TikTok, sometimes both. You can just check out my socials and kind of see what you want to see, get some inspiration, whatever you want to do. Before we get into it, I did of course film this look. It should already be up on my Instagram and TikTok by the time this video goes up. And let me just give you my accessory details. These earrings are from 5 Lemons, and this choker is from Shop Sun & Co. And this is the Alley ponytail from insert name here. All right, without further ado, let's just hop in and rank the palettes I've tried so far in 2022. All right, my friends, it is time to rank my palettes so far that I've tried in the year 2022. We have 56 palettes to talk about. I did not realize it was already this many at this point in the year. At the rate I'm going, we will have over 100 by the end of the year, and I don't think I want that. So I think I'm gonna try to slow down just a tiny bit, you know? Just a smidge, just a little bit. But I'm going to rank these palettes as usual. Please do not get offended. If your absolute favorite palette of all time is more towards the bottom, it's really not that deep. It's just makeup. And really, I don't hate any of the palettes I'm going to talk about today. This year, I've been trying to be a little bit more selective with what I do try. Even if I think I might only use it a little bit, I don't want to use things that I really don't see myself liking in general. So I don't hate any of the ones I'm going to talk about today. It's just some I like more than others, you know? I do have some really awesome palettes in here to talk about. I have played with every single one of these, sometimes multiple times throughout my channel, throughout Instagram and TikTok, so you can go check out my platforms if you need some inspo. And yeah, I don't know if I really have anything else left to say, so let's just dive in and kick it off with number 56. Number 56 is the Butterfly Effect palette from Spoiled Lips Cosmetics. It looks like this. Again, as I mentioned just recently, I don't hate this palette. It's objectively not a horrible palette. The matte formula is really nice. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The formula with the lips on it. That's a good matte formula. It blends really nicely. It's nice and pigmented. The shimmers are just like not as impactful as I would prefer. And there are 2 pressed glitters in here, right here and up here. And even though I'm not like the biggest hater of pressed glitters anymore, it's still not my favorite thing. So for those reasons, and just the fact that I like everything else I'm going to talk about today a little bit more, that's why this one's number 56. Number 55 is my ColourPop Star Wars Darth Vader palette. It looks like this. I actually didn't realize until just now that like smoky red base palettes were in the bottom. Totally not intentional. I don't even hate this kind of a color story. I actually quite like this palette. I like the smoky tones. I like the pop of red. I think it's very cute. It's just, well, for one, the theming doesn't speak to my soul. I'm not a big Star Wars person. I just don't really care. So that doesn't really hold anything special in my heart. And I don't know. Something about it just makes me not want to rank it any higher. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not super inspired to keep reaching for it because I did like it when I first used it, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't have a solid reason. I just simply like everything else going forward a tiny bit more. So yeah, 55. Number 54 is my Huda Beauty Khaki Haze palette. This does not open very easily, does it? This was actually a gift from one of my longtime guests in my salon. I've been seeing her forever, and she used this a few times and she just wasn't vibing with it, so she gave it to me. It's not a bad palette. Again, I don't really have anything negative to say. It's just not my favorite. I don't know. I like the tones in here. I like these kind of grungy, golden kind of tones. I think it's cool, but I don't know. The matte formula isn't anything revolutionary and the shimmers aren't anything revolutionary, so I couldn't really rank it much higher. The only reason I ranked this one higher than the Darth Vader is just because I do vibe with these kind of grungy autumnal colors just a teeny bit more, but yeah, these ones at the bottom, I don't really have much to say because they're just not my favorite, you know? Even if it's not that they're bad, like objectively they're fine, just compared to everything else, you know? Number 53 is the Hell on Wheels palette from Spoiled Lips Cosmetics. I love the whole theming with this palette. I think it's really, really cool. And this is what the inside looks like. When I first got this sent to me, I was actually really excited. I think it's a really cool color story. I like the kind of weird yellows with the pinks and the blues. I think it's a lot of fun. But I don't know what to tell you. For some reason, I just haven't felt inspired to reach for this one anymore, so I couldn't really rank it any higher. And again, the matte formula is really nice, but the shimmers on the bottom just, I don't know, they don't do quite enough for me. So I had to kind of put it here. I like it more than everything I've talked about, obviously, but I just couldn't really rank it any higher. I don't, again, have a very solid reason as to why. It's just, you know, just my personal preference right now, I guess. I just haven't felt super inspired. Number 52 is my Salem Cosmetics Dark Passenger palette. I love Dexter. I think this is a very fun theme. All the different names are on the back and they're all themed around different, you know, different things in Dexter, you know? I think this is a really fun color story. It's kind of like muted colorful, and I think that's really fun. I like the matte formula a lot, actually. This is their first palette they've ever done, and I was really pleasantly surprised, especially with those reds. I thought they'd be kind of difficult, but they're very buttery, very easy to work with. The only reason I didn't rank it any higher is just because the shimmers didn't blow me away. They're not bad, they just are a little lackluster for my taste, but it's not a bad palette. I am more into this than the previous ones I've talked about so far. And I'm really excited to see what else they do. I do have another palette I'm going to talk about from them in a bit, and they're coming out with another one soon, so I'm just excited to watch them grow and improve as well. And number 51, I'm giving it to my Beauty Bay Bright palette. Looks like this. It is a rainbow palette. We have a mixture of mattes and shimmers. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I'm very picky when it comes to rainbow palettes because I have the Blend Bunny Blends palette, and because of that, I'm just not super drawn to other rainbow palettes because I have the ultimate one already. So, I mean, this isn't a bad palette. The mattes blend fine. The shimmers are nice. They're not like my favorite shimmers they've done. I feel like in some of their other palettes they have better shimmers, but it's just, you know, I'm not inspired to reach for this. I like it more than what I've talked about so far. I feel like I have really good variety. I do like the choice of mattes and shimmers that they have in here. I think some of the tones are fun. Like, I really like that they have this teal, but you know, everything else I'm going to talk about just excites me a wee bit more. Rainbow palettes don't excite me very much. Even though I love colorful eyeshadow, I like a colorful curated color story, not necessarily just rainbows. And speaking of rainbows, number 50 is my Art Nouveau palette from Kylove. We have another rainbow palette here, but I will say I like this one a little bit more than the Bright palette. One, because I like the formula a tiny bit more. I think the shimmers are a little bit nicer, but I think the tones in here are a little bit more fun. Like, we have this weird kind of antique-y gold shade. I like this kind of indigo bluey shimmer. There's just a little bit of a different tonal situation going on. But again, broken record, I am not super inspired by rainbow palettes as a general rule. Even though this is a fine palette, I like the looks I created with it. I'm just not as inspired to reach for this one because of my Ultimate Rainbow palette by Blend Bunny Cosmetics. So that's why I put this one here. Moving right along. Number 49 is my Fiery palette from Beauty Bay. I actually quite enjoy this. I'm craving fall, autumn, Halloween right now so bad. So this does spark all of my interest right now. I love these toasty, grungy, orangey tones. I like the different mattes and shimmers that are in here. Again, it's not my favorite shimmer formula they've done. I feel like they've definitely done better shimmers in other palettes, but I do quite like this one. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. It gives me kind of those grungy vibes, but just on the cozy, warm side. Really like this one. But again, obviously it's ranked pretty low. I don't love it as much as everything else I'm going to talk about today, but I do like it more than everything I've mentioned thus far. Number 48 is my Ace palette from St. Angel's Sinners. I do like this one. Their shimmer formula is really, really nice. Just something about this color story, I didn't have the most fun playing with it. I loved the look that I created, but I don't know. I'm just not super inspired by this one. I don't really have a solid reason again. It just compared to everything else that I've played with from them and everything else I have to talk about today, I don't know. This one just didn't get to me as nicely. Number 47 is my other Salem Cosmetics palette, the Great Mother. Love this theming. And this color story is a lot of fun. It's bright, but kind of grungy. I love the mixture of tones in here. I feel like it's hard to capture this one on camera because it's such a shiny palette, but this one's a lot of fun. And I actually do feel like their shimmers are a wee bit better in this palette than the Dexter one. I like this one. Again, the mattes were really nice to work with. Even that purple, the bright yellow was really cute. I enjoyed playing with this one. I think it's fun. But alas, I have some things that spoke to my soul a little bit more coming up. Side note, I feel like somebody's gonna ask, I just got my nails done today. This is just a black nail polish with Hollow Taco's Polar Princess over top, and it's like magical. I keep staring at my nails. Number 46 is my ColourPop on the Mango Quad. I think this is so cute. These are very rich and pigmented. They're a lot of fun. They're so bright, and I love like this deepening shade. Then there's that kind of mac and cheese orangey yellow. I think this is a very cute little quad, very impactful, super simple. You got your 3 mattes, 1 shimmer, but it does the job. It does the job well, and I was really impressed by it. But it's just a quad at the end of the day. I didn't really want to rank it too much higher. I have a couple other quads to talk about in this video that I like a little bit more, so let's move on to those. Number 45 is my Kaleidos Cold Brew Quad. I love Kaleidos formula. I actually love that they did quads because I haven't done that before, and not to mention the packaging is beautiful. Like, it's literally lacy. It's like one of the coolest pieces of packaging I have in my collection. But I really like this. The mattes are beautiful. They blend super nicely. We have a really good gradient of light to dark with that shimmer, and that shimmer is so pretty. I really like this, even though I don't reach for neutrals all the time. When I do gravitate towards cool tones, so this is right up my alley. I couldn't really rank it any higher though, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna reach for a quad of cool tone browns too often, but I was really impressed with the quality of it, so I wanted to rank it a little bit higher than everything else so far. Number 44 is my Aether Beauty Desert Sunset palette. It looks like this. We have kind of these weird, warm, kind of golden ochre kind of colors with the pops of coral. It's a very funky but still kind of tame color story at the same time. I don't have anything quite like this. I think it's really lovely. I enjoy their formula. Their mattes are very buildable and easy to blend, very beginner friendly in my opinion, and the shimmers are nice. They're not my all-time favorite, but they're nice. I feel like this is a very middle of the road palette for me. You know, it's not horrible, but it's not like my #1 favorite. I was really happy with the look I created with it, but I can't say I can really rank it much higher, but I do think this is a little bit more unique and deserving compared to some of the things I've talked about so far. This does excite me more than the other things I've mentioned. I'm more likely to reach for this than the other things I've talked about today. I feel like when I'm planning for these types of videos, that's kind of my like general consensus on how I decide to rank these is, am I more likely to reach for this over this, for instance? And in this case, I was more likely to reach for this over the Kaleidos, but let's talk about the one I'm willing to reach for over this one. Number 43 is my ColourPop in the Springs palette. Super cute, kind of orangey teal color story. There's a pop of dark blue in here. We have different tones of orange. I love this bright orange right here, and the teals are just so cute. I've mentioned it before. I don't really like orange and blue together because I live in North Central Florida and gators are everywhere around here around me, and I'm not a sports person, but I love orange and like teal or turquoise together. I think that is such a beautiful combo, and I really like this palette. I found the mattes were super nice, standard ColourPop quality, and the shimmers were nice. I feel like sometimes they have shimmers that are a little bit better, but these weren't bad shimmers by any means. I had fun with this one, but this isn't the kind of color story I reach for all the time. You know, there's definitely some just like warm browns at the bottom that I'm not gonna gravitate towards too much, so let's talk about some other things now. Number 42, we have another ColourPop. This is the Coast is Clear palette. They launched 3 palettes in this style. This is the one that I decided to keep. I love this. There are so many different formulas in here, lots of glowy shimmers. They're so pretty. I don't know. I loved playing with this one. I even found myself reaching for it a couple times before work when I wasn't necessarily filming but still wanted to do a little something. Especially this shade here. I feel like you can kind of see the dent that I've made in it. I keep reaching for that as like a topper shade on like easy breezy days. Super glowy. I was really pleasantly surprised with this one. I feel like it looks very unassuming, but once you actually dive into it, the shimmers are quite lovely. So this has been a fun kind of like topper add-on style palette for me. And next up, number 41 is my By the Rosé palette, also from ColourPop. This is another one that's gonna be difficult to show on camera because it's so reflective, but it looks like this. This was actually one of the first palettes I tried this year, and I really, really liked it. I do like these kind of rosy tones. I feel like I'll never get sick of the whole millennial pink vibe. I think it's very cute. And this is a nice ratio. We have a good range of light to deep, lots of pretty shimmers in here. I really like this one. I know it's very basic, but I really like it. I feel pretty when I wear this one. So I wanted to rank this one a little bit higher than everything else so far because I've used this one quite a few times now and it always makes me feel really cute. Moving on up to number 40, this is my ColourPop Strawberry Sweet Quad. Again, similar to that orange one, these are just very like bam, impact, color, pigment. We have 2 shimmers and 2 mattes in this one and I just love it. I love the kind of like mauvey brownie, purpley pinky kind of tone. I don't really know how to describe this. It's kind of like a cool tone brown, but it has a little bit of rosiness to it. And then that bright pink is lovely. And those 2 shimmers are just gorgeous, very reflective. Really like this one. Again, I know it's just a quad, but it impressed me, you know? I think it's really cute. Number 39 is from St. Angel Sinners, the Unity palette. I do enjoy this palette. I think the color story is really cute. I'm a big fan of blue, green, and purple. I think it's wonderful. Something about this one I just don't really like as much as some of their other ones. I do like this one more than the Ace palette that I already talked about, but I don't know. Something about it just doesn't pull me in, even though I love this color story. I think maybe I like the mattes in some of their other palettes a little bit more than this one. I'm not quite sure what it is, but this one feels very like middle of the road for me, so that's kind of why I wanted to place it here. I do love the color story, but my willingness to reach for it is fairly low compared to everything else I'm going to talk about. Number 38 is my ColourPop and Avatar palette. I actually quite like this one. I think it is very, very cute. My only critique is I wish there was like a brighter green in here for the earth row. I feel like that would have been really, really nice, but for the most part, I really enjoy this. I did a few looks with this actually, and I really enjoyed all of them. I think the colors are fun. It's like grungy rainbow, but not rainbow at the same time, but it's very like colorful muted. I love primary colors together, like blue, red, yellow. I think it's so pretty together. It's very fun. And I was really impressed with this. And I love Avatar. This theming hits me real hard. I like how it looks like a book sitting on your shelf. It's really, really cute. This is a good one for me. Number 37 is my Give Me Glow 2 Moods palette. I have to be careful with this one because I actually broke one of the shades. That one, clearly I dropped it and broke it, and then I tried to just smush it back into place. It's very pleasant looking. I love this palette. I think it's gorgeous. I did a few looks with this one. I think this was a really good idea. I like how we have kind of this like corally corner, this more like rosy corner, the mauves, the browns. I love the shimmers in here. They have so much sparkle and shine to them. The mattes are beautiful. I mentioned in my video with this palette actually that this would also double really nicely as a face palette because I can use so many of these as blushes. Like this one works really nice as a face highlight. I probably won't take it traveling with me anymore since I broke that shade and I don't want to risk it breaking more, but in theory, I would totally take this traveling with me because it's so multi-purpose. I really like this one. The only reason I didn't rank it any higher is just because I reach for more colorful things more often than this one, but this is gorgeous. I love Give Me Glow's formula and it just really excites me. Actually, I feel like we're kind of at the point in the video, like starting right here, where it's things that I like am starting to love a lot more, you know? Like we kind of reached the bottom and now we're kind of in like my middle, things that I'm really, really enjoying, things that I'll probably continue to reach for, you know? Number 36 is my What's Up Beauty Geodes palette. Look how beautiful this packaging is. I love. And we have another reflective palette. How fun. This was my first time trying this brand and I was really impressed with this palette. These shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. I love them. The mattes are really nice too. I do wish like maybe there was one more colorful matte in here. That would have made me happy. I feel like a purple matte would have taken this palette up another notch, but for the most part, I really like this. I was very impressed with the shimmers. I think it's really pretty, and I feel like it's really easy to create looks with this one. I don't know. I feel like every time I've used this one, I haven't really had to think too hard. It was kind of a no-brainer. I just knew what I was gonna do. So that's really exciting. I like this one. I think this one's cute. Number 35 is my Sugar High palette from Menagerie. I really like this one. I was super into it when they revealed it, but then I talked myself out of it, and I'm so happy they ended up sending it to me because I love this. I love how bright it is. That bright pink and orange makes me so happy, and the shimmers in here are gorgeous. Not to mention I love that they're doing circle pans now. The square pans never bothered me, but it's kind of nice to see them switch something up. I think this is really cute. My main critique with this one was I wish there was like a deeper matte in here, like a really dark blue or a dark purple, because I find it hard to create like a little bit of depth with this palette, but it's okay. I can always reach for other things. For the most part, I really enjoy this. The shimmers are gorgeous. I know I already said that, but I'll say it again. I'm really happy with this one. Number 34 is my other Kaleidos quad, and I think the final Kaleidos palette. Have they only launched quads this year so far? Ooh, I hope that means we're getting a new collection soon. I don't know anything. I'm not hinting at anything, I swear. But that makes me wonder if we're gonna get a new collection soon. I hope so. But this is the Black Jasmine quad. As I mentioned before, I love cool tones. If I'm gonna play with neutrals, I'm gonna play with cool tones. I love a black smoky eye. I like playing with gray tones, and this is a lot of fun. I feel like this is the perfect smoky palette. Like if you just wanted an easy breezy palette to do a black gray smoky eye every single day, this would be the one I'd recommend for sure. There's such a good gradient in here, and that metallic silver is breathtaking. That silver honestly is kind of what kicked this up another notch for me. I love this palette. It's so fun. I feel glamorous when I wear it, and I adore it. And now I'm really sitting over here hoping we get a new collection from them soon, because it's been a few months. I want those 6-pan palettes again. You already knew I was gonna say that. I need more 6-pans from them. Please and thank you. Number 33 is my ColourPop in the Limelight palette. I have made mine so dirty. I've used this one quite a few times at this point. I really like this one. It is so bright and just fun and fluorescent. I actually did compare this to the Tinkerbell palette on my YouTube video with this, so if you need to see comparisons, go check that out. I feel like they're similar, but they're different at the same time. They complement each other really nicely. I love this though. I think it's so cute. Again, I just love how bright it gets, and the shimmers are really nice. I think I can do a lot with it being a mostly monochromatic palette. This one was a lot of fun for me. This one ended up surprising me on how much I ended up loving it. Like I thought I'd like it, but I wasn't sure how in love with it I would end up being, you know? I get kind of picky with monochromatic palettes, especially from ColourPop, because they've done at least 1 million of them at this point. Oh my gosh, that reminds me, like I've been really picky on what I've even been using from ColourPop this year. Like the next palette I'm gonna talk about is my final ColourPop palette, and I feel like I would be at 80 palettes already if I tried every single thing that they've launched this year, my goodness. But yes, number 32 is my All Amethyst palette from ColourPop. This was actually really high in my ranking up until recently when I tried some other things that kind of knocked it down a little bit. I love this palette. This is by far my favorite one they've done this year. I feel like this one actually got hit or miss reviews, but I personally love it. I think it's a lot of fun. I love the different undertones of purple in here. The different shimmers are so fun. You can do things that are a little more cool tone purple, or you can make it a little bit pinkier by kind of focusing on this one and like this shimmer. I think this is a lot of fun. This is another one that really just made me super happy, and I'm glad that it exists. And yeah, that's number 32 for you. Final ColourPop palette, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, number 31 is my St. Angel Sinners Not Like Other Girls palette. It looks like this. Again, you already know I love a green purple color story. Give me all the Beetlejuice vibes all the time. The mattes in here are really nice. They blended really well. And like, for instance, this one compared to that Unity palette, that one also had kind of like a green, purple, blue situation going on, but this one I just feel like was done better. I like the shimmers more. I like the ratio of matte to shimmer. I like that there's the black to deepen things up, and that purple matte blends really well. I was really impressed with this one. I think it is quite cute. Moving on to number 30 is my Reza Beauty Sweet Tragedy palette. I really like this one. I have to hold it kind of sideways though, even though that's not the way Coffin is normally laid out. I have to be able to fit it in the video. I love this. I still don't know how this made its way to me. It ended up being in my separate mailbox that I keep in my description boxes and stuff, but it wasn't clear if this was PR from the brand or if this was a gift from somebody else, but it arrived and I love it. These like chunky textured shimmers in here make me so happy, and the mattes are quite nice. I was pretty impressed with them. Like this green is pretty bright and it blends well, same with the purple. The black seemed to perform nicely. My main critique is there's like these two and like this brown that I'm really not gonna reach for that often. If this was just like I don't know, maybe if those were different shades or something, I'd like it a little bit more. But because there's some shades in here that I'm not really gonna reach for, even the matte white, honestly, I don't use a matte white very often. I couldn't really rank it any higher than that, but the shades that I love a lot. So that's why I wanted to place it up here, kind of right in the middle, actually. Number 29, this is the final one for this half of the video, and then we'll get on to the second half. This is my Unearthly Cosmetics Sleepover Palette. It looks like this. I love Unearthly's formula. I think it's so fun, and the color story in here is super cute. Again, I like that purple pinky vibe. It's a lot of fun for me. I think the mattes blend beautifully and the shimmers are gorgeous. They definitely do have some palettes with better shimmers though, so I didn't really want to rank this one any higher because I have a lot of other things from them I want to talk about in this video actually, but I still think this one is so much fun. It's bright and cute and pinky, and I enjoy this one a lot. Moving on to number 28 is my St. Angel Sinners Best Buds palette. This is not a theme that means anything to me. A lot of these words I truly don't even know what they mean. Like I know they all relate to like smoking and things like that, but I'm not familiar. But as far as the shadows themselves, these are gorgeous. They are just shifty and transformative and lovely, and I have so much fun with this. I've reached for this quite a few times just to like grab a shade or two. It's just 9 lovely shimmers and I love them. So here we are. Number 27 is my other one from that same collection, the Makeup and Chill palette. Again, we have 9 shimmers, all shifty, transformative magic. I just like these tones just a tiny bit more than the Best Buds one. Again, theme doesn't mean anything to me, but I love the colors on the inside. I think they are so pretty to work with. Number 27 is another St. Angel Sinners palette. I did not realize these were all like back to back like this. I guess these were all just very in the middle for me, you know what I mean? But I quite enjoy this one. This is their collab with Smink, the Follow Your Dreams palette. Look at how cute this is though. It's like chaotic, colorful, wonderful in the best way. The mattes blend beautifully and the shimmers are gorgeous. They're so reflective and impactful and I love them. This chunky shimmer down here is amazing. It might look like a glitter on camera, but it's just a beautiful textured shimmer. I really enjoy this palette. I'm super happy that this collab exists because it's a lot of fun. I feel like I'm not really giving reasons on why these specific ones are placed where they are. We're just kind of in that range right now with this ranking where I didn't like really have any problems with them, so I didn't rank them towards the bottom, but they're not like my favorites of my favorites, so I couldn't rank them at the top either. So that's kind of why they're just chilling here. And again, I just kind of based the order of them on what am I more likely to reach for. Number 5 is another St. Angel Sinners palette. This is the Xanadu. I love this one. This is super cute. I like that it's kind of got those grungy vibes, but also fairly colorful. I really enjoyed the look I created with this. Super pretty and reflective. I actually got a lot of compliments in real life when I wore this as well. The shimmers are just a lot of fun. I feel like the shimmers are definitely where this brand shines the most, and I'm super into it. Number 34 is the St. Angel Sinners Kazi palette. Love this little kitty cat. How cute. I'm a cat lady through and through. I don't know why I like this one a little bit more. I just kind of do. I like how deep and jewel toned it gets, and the shades of shimmers are really pretty. This bright blue makes me very, very happy. I just like it. And I'm sure the fact that it's cat themed definitely gets to me as well, but I do truly love the colors in here also. Number 33 is my Lois Cosmetics Meet Me in the Underworld palette. I'm so happy that I own this now. I ended up passing on this one last year just because I had other things to prioritize, but then as you'll see later in this video, I ended up buying the Meet Me at Midnight when it launched this year, and I loved it so much, and then Lois Cosmetics offered to send me this one, and I'm so grateful that she did because it's beautiful. I adore this theming. I love the color stories, this kind of grungy garden vibe. It's so pretty. The muted pinks and greens, the shimmers in here are gorgeous. The mattes blend beautifully as well. I'm just so happy that I own this palette. Number 32 is my St. Angel Sinners Swim Team palette. This one is super cute. Obviously this one isn't shimmer heavy, and I already mentioned that their shimmers are kind of where they shine for me, but this one in particular I do love. I love these grungy mattes. They're so pretty. That like weird tealy blue with the mustard yellow. It's just all grungy and wonderful, and the shimmers that are in here pair so nicely with it. I really like this little 6-pan. I think it's cute. I feel like I've been saying the numbers wrong this whole time. I think I was saying like 30s, but we were in the 20s. It's all over the place. Oh my gosh. Just ignore me, oh my goodness. Well, this is number 21. I hope I was saying them right. I feel like just now I was saying like 32, 33, 34 when it was literally the 20s. Oh my goodness, okay. Well, this is number 21. This is the Midnight palette from Beauty Bay. I love this one. I was so excited when they wanted to send me this because I ended up passing on it just because I was able to talk myself out of it. It was a whole thing. I'd already owned the Age of Opulence, so I didn't feel like I needed this one, but I'm so happy that I have it. It is just beautiful. I love blue and purple. These shimmers are outstanding and the mattes blend like butter. I'm thrilled to have this palette. Moving on now to the top 20 of this year so far. Really excited about these, and I'm really excited to see how this either stays the same or changes throughout the rest of the year. Number 20 is my Earthy palette from Beauty Bay. I literally don't have anything different to say about this one than the Midnight. The shimmers again are outstanding and the mattes are beautiful. I love the range of tones in here. So many different shades of green. It is gorgeous. The only reason this one is ranked higher than the Midnight is just because these greens just speak to my soul just a little bit more than the purples and blues, but these are basically tied. I feel like I just have to say that. Number 19 is my Call Me palette from Spoiled Lips. I don't love that it's like a magnetic separate palette like this, but whatever. The insides are beautiful. Again, this matte formula is gorgeous, and these shimmers, they need to do these shimmers every time. I was blown away by how shifty and magical they are. I could not believe it. I don't know why they don't do this every time. I have no reasons, because this blows their other shimmer formula out of the water 100 times over. It's mainly these shimmers that made me rank this palette so highly. This was actually in my top 10 for a hot minute. It did get knocked down quite a bit, but this is still such a wonderful palette. I love the pastels. I think it's a lot of fun. So here we are. Number 18 is my Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. I only actually just tried this recently, and the next one that I'm gonna talk about, but this one already blew me away. These shimmers are stunning. They are so pretty, so shifty and magical. I love the tones in here. Oh, I cannot get enough. I'm gonna be reaching for this one a lot. I just have a feeling, even just to like grab a shade or two. It's so funny. I used to really not be into all shimmer palettes. Like I wanted at least some mattes, but I've really grown to enjoy all shimmer palettes and the purpose that they serve. I like that I can just kind of dip in and grab a couple of cool shades or like top them on top of my winged liner. I have a lot of fun with these palettes. Number 17 is again one I just tried recently, but it already blew me away. This is the In the Dark palette from Unearthly. They actually launched this palette at the end of last year, but they re-released it by switching out one of the older shades with the new shimmer. I'm pretty sure this is the new shimmer, but it could be this one. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they are selling it separately for anyone who purchased it originally and wants that new shade. But this is beautiful. It's grungy, colorful magic. Love the two shimmers in here. I feel like this is such a cool balance of grungy and whimsical. I've been having a blast and I had to rank this one highly. I just couldn't not. I'm having so much fun with it. Number 16 is my Melt Cosmetics Gemini 2 palette. I am so happy this exists. The original Gemini is one of my favorite palettes in my entire collection, and I'm just so happy that the sister to it is here. This is so much fun. I love the rosy vibes with the olive greens. It pairs with the original so nicely. I personally love Melt's formula, and this one is just so cool. My only minor critique is I would have probably switched this out for something else, like even maybe a light shimmer would have been cool, but for the most part, I'm really happy with this palette. I think it's a lot of fun. Number 15 is another Unearthly Cosmetics palette, the Leather and Lace. Again, I mentioned I'm, well, really always obsessed with autumn and Halloween, but I'm craving it right now, and this one fuels that fire to another level. I just love the rows of like grungy olives, the burnt oranges, and then kind of those plummy berry tones. It's just so fun. The shimmers in here are really pretty and the mattes blend beautifully. I love this one. I think it's so pretty. Number 14 is my Adept Cosmetics and Heather Austin palette. This was actually my first time trying Adept, and I'm so glad I did because this is beautiful. I was really happy to support Heather, and this one just makes me super happy. The four mattes in here are very cute. I love this yellow and green, and the different shifty magical shimmers are just so amazing. I think they flow together really nicely. It's really easy to create looks with this. I'm just so excited that I have this one. Number 13 is my final St. Angel Sinners palette. This is the Cupid's Arrow. I think this was actually the first one I ever tried from them, and it still is my favorite one that they've done so far. It's just a simple 6-pan all shimmers, but I love all of these shimmers. I'm drawn to reach for this, and it just makes me really happy. They're super shifty and shiny, and I don't know what to say. It gets the job done really well. I'm happy with this one. But on to even more magical shifty shimmers. This is the Unearthly Cosmetics All I Ever Wanted palette, and it's truly all I ever wanted. Number 12 happily gets this palette because it's just so pretty. We have 20 magical shadows, all different colors and shifts and undertones, and they are just so much fun to play with. Again, I find myself reaching for these all shimmer palettes because they're just so fun. I just love it. I feel like I don't really have words now that we're at the top because I just love all of these with my whole heart. Number 11, I'm giving to my Soul Moon 2 palette from Odin's Eye. Just look at it. Just look at it. It's colorful and wonderful. It has like a depth, grunginess to it, but it's still very colorful. And I love the shimmers in here. I just adore their formula. I adore this brand. And as soon as I tried this one, I was like, yeah, that's gonna get ranked high. I can see it now, and I'm really happy with seeing it super high up on the list. Oh boy, getting into my top 10 of the year so far. Number 10 is my Dragon Fruit palette from Cleona and Emily Violet Marie. This is just pure magic. The shimmers in here are so shifty and gorgeous and beautiful, and I'm just so happy I got to buy just a collection of beautiful shimmers from this brand in palette form, because then I can try lots at once, and it makes me super happy. A lot of these I also use as face highlight, and it's just so beautiful. I like how pinky it is, but there's also the pops of funky color in here too. It's a very fun palette, and this packaging just makes me really happy. It's so shiny. Number 9 is my Night Flower palette from Lethal Cosmetics. I'm just so incredibly happy I have this in my life. It's beautiful. I love these cool toned purples and the pops of blue. It's just so much fun. The shimmers in here are breathtaking, and the mattes are just so easy to work with. I adore Lethal's formula, and I'm just so happy with this launch. This was a really good palette. Side note, they are sending me their new 1UP palette, and I cannot wait to try that one. I'll definitely have a video on my channel ASAP once it arrives to me. Number 8 is my Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute 2. The original Creepy Cute has been one of my favorite palettes forever now, and I'm so happy that she got to finally launch Creepy Cute 2. It's been long awaited. I've known this has been in the works for quite a while, and I'm just so happy it's finally here, and it exists, and it's wonderful. The tones in here are so pretty. It plays so nicely with the original, but it's also beautiful by itself. Alien Queen and Banana Milk, I live for these. They are so pigmented, but yet they can be pastelized. It's just such a beautiful formula. I'm so excited about this. Number 7 is my Nomad Cosmetics Paradise Islands palette. This one is stunning. I am so pumped about it. It's bright and colorful, and the shimmers are just so magical. This is a killer palette, and I am just so insanely excited about it. I think the shimmers have just such a beautiful texture to them, and they're shiny, and everything plays so well together. I like how it's laid out with the warmth and then the greens and then fading into the blues and purples at the bottom. It's just such a beautiful palette, and it makes me very, very excited. Number 6 is my Unearthly Cosmetics All I Ever Wanted Volume 2. This is my final Unearthly one to talk about today. Oh, this one just makes me so happy. Again, it's 20 pans of magic, and I just love every single one of these. I'm taking this on my trip with me, I'm pretty sure, when I go on my vacation for my birthday here in about a week, and I'm so excited. This is just beautiful. I love the tones in here, those different yellows with the different bluey greens. It's just all so much fun. I like that there's a mixture of dark and light. It's just, I have a blast playing with this one. Moving on to my top 5 so far from 2022. This is the Nomad Whistler Snow Lodge palette. I just love this. This came out at the beginning of the year, and it still makes me really happy. I just like these very cozy, jewel-toned colorful shade. I like that there's a couple pastels to break it up, and these shimmers are just beautiful. We have a mixture of warmth and cool. It just all plays together so well, and this is by far my favorite Nomad one that they've released so far, but they're about to release a new thing, and I'm really excited to see what it is. They haven't revealed it as of the moment that I'm filming it yet. Number 4 is that Meet Me at Midnight palette from Lois Cosmetics that I mentioned earlier. It is just so pretty. Look at these tones, these jewel-toned, delicious colors, all of these beautiful shimmers. I adore the theming in here. It makes me super happy, and I feel really pretty when I play with this. Again, I love kind of playing with blues, purples, pinks, greens. It makes me really happy, and this is just such a fun combination. I adore their matte formula, and their shimmers are super pretty as well. Number 3 is my Odin's Eye and Hella palette. This was in collaboration with Angelica, and I'm just super excited about it. I love the packaging, and the inside is just so pretty. All these different shades of green with the pops of pink. I just think this is so much fun. I'm so happy for her. The mattes blend beautifully, and the shimmers are so beautiful. There are some beautiful shifty shadows in here, and I love this one. I have a feeling this one's gonna remain in my top 10 by the end of the year too. It's just so, so good. Number 2 is my Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the Dollhouse palette. I'm still so obsessed with this. I just think it's so beautiful. We have so many different colors in here, and there's just such a good range of colors. Like we have kind of the orangey row, the mauvey purples, the kind of cool tone into like grayy black ones. We have these more taupey shades, the rosy ones, and then sort of the olives. I love the pastel mids and deeps, the 2 rows of shimmers. There is just so many good things about this. I adore Blend Bunny and her formula. I think she's doing a killer job, and I'm obsessed with this palette. It's like, again, a grungy garden, and it makes me super happy. It's neutrals, but with a twist, make it interesting. I'm just so thoroughly impressed with this palette. I feel so pretty when I wear it, and I'm happy that it exists. And finally, number 1, drumroll please. It is actually my Fantasy Cosmetica Druid palette. This is the brand's first palette, their first launch, and I'm just so impressed with it. I literally can't take it out of first place. Like, I haven't been able to knock it out of the ranking at all since I tried it. It's just beautiful. I love the 4 grungy toned mattes, and these shimmers are just so shifty and special. I'm so pleased with this palette, and I'm very happy to place it as number 1 because it is my favorite so far this year. I actually ranked this recently number 9 in my top 10 eyeshadow palettes in my whole collection. I'm just very impressed with this. I can't wait to see what else they do in the future. Woo, 56 palettes talked about. I feel like I need to guzzle some water now and clean up my mess. Oh, let's finish up this video, shall we? Thank you so much for watching my video. These are honestly like a heavy video to film and prep for and edit, so I really hope you enjoyed it. I have fun doing these, and I love chatting with you about different palettes. I would love to hear your thoughts on these. Have you tried any yourself? Do you want any of them for yourself? I would love to hear from you. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave me, I don't know, leave me your 3 most favorite emojis. I feel like that works good for a ranking situation, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot, and if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the battybean fam. I am battybean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, you can subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I'm posting most days over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye. I never know what to do with my hands in this intro. I just feel like the hand from Addams Family, like that's all I have going right now.